In episode 259, we have a big announcement, lots of guests, Upland roadmap, and will TML give away another 100,000 UPX this week? Stay tuned. Nothing? Nothing.
Oh, no. You never let me talk.
The UPX Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host too stupid to win and thank me later. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland property experts, baby, UPX.
Welcome to episode 259 of the Upland Property Experts Podcast. I'm your host, Too Stupid to Win, and as always, I'm joined by ThankMeLater. How we doing, ThankMeLater?
I am doing fantastic. It's going to be a great day. And I don't like prophesizing episodes, but this is going to be a great episode.
Wait. Cheese has been missing in action for like a month. We bring C on, and she's right here. I see where the love is.
I don't blame her. Oh, Bam Tech in the house? What up?
Yeah. Yep. So we do got a lot to cover. And you're the one making the claim that it's going to be a great episode. What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I see. And Jack Daniels is in the house. There we go. All right. So I guess we should jump right into it because we do have Mass Chef and Upland Racing League happen. And we got power-ups, and we'll see his thoughts on power-ups because I know he's always excited for new updates to Upland Racing, and they're back and they're cheaper. They did take some feedback. So we'll see his thoughts on that too. So we will get right into it. What's going on, Mass? How we doing?
What up? I totally feel a setup coming on here.
A setup?
Let's set you up?
No, not ever. So we have a whole ton going on in racing. We got this week, we got the Upland Racing Series coming on to us next week, the finals for the harvest season. That'll be happening next Friday, along with week 6 for the Upland Racing League. So we got a 2-hour special coming to you next Friday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But let's talk races for now because we got races coming up tomorrow. And this is from last week, race 4, Sam Mahoney making his comeback. He fell off on week number 3, but came back week number 4 strong with another win for his 3rd win for the season. As you can see, we've got a lot of green and red on the board. Ooh. Up and down the whole thing. There was so much movement coming out of the last race that we had 2 weeks ago. And I got to mention right off the bat, Picasso with a 2nd place finish on his very first URL race. Very, very impressive. He nearly pulled out the 1st place. Sam Mahoney got him by just a couple 100ths of a second. So it was very tight. He almost pulled out a win on his first race in the series. So it was very exciting last week. Not quite as exciting as week 3 when Sam Mahoney went down to 4th place finish, but it was pretty exciting last week as well. So looking at the board here, Sam Mahoney takes 1st place back over again. Matsuda in 2nd. Metaspook in 3rd with a nice 3rd place finish last week for his 3rd top 3 finish in 3 weeks. So Metaspook running well. Buellman drops a place with a 5th place finish. Wander 1976 drops a couple of spots and coming in 10th place this week. So Wolf Warner pretty stagnant on his move. TB 125 jumping up a spot. Phalos in 8th, no movement for him. Funky Beats jumps up 1. She actually had some car trouble in last week's race and still was able to make the final. So congrats to Funky Beats on that one, making her first final of the series. M-Wag and Mizzy dropping a couple of spots. Yeah. Oh, I love it. The sound effects. That's awesome. And of course, Picasso with his second place finish jumps him up one spot out of the last place. Now, one thing everybody has to understand is Picasso took over for Caesar in the Hyde Park Ninjas racing team. So he got Caesar's points, but Caesar didn't get any points for a couple of weeks there in the middle of the season. So Picasso is playing catch up. But based on his performance last race, I've got some pretty high hopes for Picasso coming in and running up some points in the last 4 races of the season for the back half. So
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
interesting the movement that's going on now with the new racing mechanics, with braking. It has certainly presented a whole new race and a whole new racing style. So for the Mahoney boys to stay on top with new racing style is pretty impressive. So uh,
but did they though? Hold on, because in that race, the Ninjas total position is 6, fourth and second. The Mahoney Sam and Matsuda team 8. So that
yes,
means that the Ninja team outperformed, was
they
the
did.
top performing team of that race.
They did outperform. Yes, both of the ninjas
Yeah.
made it to the final race. And so that gave them a ton of points coming off of last week's race. And if we take a look at the team board, it's pretty obvious here. They moved up out of last place into fifth on the team board. Castle Elite Racing moved up one spot to take over second place.
Oh, yeah.
Neo
20
Motorsports-
points.
Neo NW Motorsports. So the team races. This is going to get considerably tighter as we move on through the next couple of seasons. I think this team board we're going to see it's going to start to bunch up as we get through the next 2 seasons for this board. So
Love that. Also, that's the highest score. The Ninjas got the highest single week score. Oh no, never mind. I didn't
No.
look at that. Of anybody not the other team. Yeah.
I'm
right,
not.
they did receive the most points for race 4.
Yeah.
So in combined points, they've got the most combined points in race 4.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. Go
yeah,
Ninjas.
so
Let's
the ninjas, Funky Beats and Picasso. Picasso, like I said, he comes from the kart series racing. He was very much into karts. He does a lot of kart racing, and to move up and go from karts straight into the S1Es is a pretty big jump as far as performance is concerned. So to see him come out and have a good showing on his very first race, and to uh, put some light into the Ninja's spark, is I think pretty awesome.
that is
This week we are running on the ever fun Ithaca Run in the Real Node LA. We're going to have Elijah Judas joining us on the broadcast this Friday, tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Ithaca Run and his new theater that opened up in the Real Node LA. So we're going to have him on to talk about that stuff. Should be a pretty fun show. But this thing is a monster. It's 2.24 miles. It's 21 turns. It's got a nice straight, which it allows for some really good boosting. It's got some really tight turns, especially around, starting basically at 8 and running all the way through until you hit 21. You're in and out, in and out, in and out. Lots of sharp turns, lots of braking going on in that stretch. So it should be a really fun race to watch tomorrow. Very excited to see it. Heat 1 is going to be Wolf Warner, TB 125, Funky Beats, Picasso, Metaspook, and San
Oof.
Mahoney.
That's a
We
tough.
can-
That's a tough qualifying
looks-
race.
That looks
That-
like the finals.
That is a tough heat race right there. I
Mm.
absolutely agree with you. It should be obviously the favorite's got to be San Mahoney. I see Picasso in there. We could see a finals rematch in Heat 1 on racing tomorrow, so should be super exciting to see how that comes out. Now we as we mentioned to everybody and remind everybody, the way that we do the heat races and we decide who's in the heat races is completely 100% a random wheel draw. So we put everybody's names in a spin wheel, and every other name goes to every other heat. So first pick goes to heat 1, second pick heat 2, and so on. So it is possible to have teammates in the same heat, which kind of changes how things go. And this is one of those instances because you have Picasso and Funky Beats. Both of the ninjas are running in heat 1. So there's only 3 spots that move on to the finals in each heat. So that they are going to have to really pull out some interesting racing in that heat if they both want to make the finals again this week. Heat number 2, we got Mwagamizi, Phalos, Buellman, Matsuda, Akaprapi, and Wonder 1976. And for those of you who don't know, Wander's been this guy has been practicing like mad. I see him racing all over the place. So I'm looking to see him kind of have a breakout here pretty soon. Maybe not this season, but soon. He, perhaps in the stock car competition series coming up. But I really see Wander 1976 making a move at some point here in the very near future.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Now, just hypothetical, would you rather see Upland allow you to have 12 racers in a race, or just be able to set up qualifying times that it tracks the people and they run a warm-up lap and then 2 or 3 laps after that and the best times go by? Would you prefer, which one would you prefer?
I would prefer 12 drivers in a race. In my opinion, I think the more that we can increase the heat, the more exciting it will be, and the more that we would see, especially team racing, kind of come to the forefront. Because obviously, the more drivers you have on the track, the more complicated it becomes, the harder it becomes to maneuver, and having a teammate really helps with that, providing that they know how to race as a team. So, me personally, I would like to see 12 drivers on the track.
All right, that's fair. All right, continue. Sorry, just my random
worries.
thoughts.
So, as I said, this week we're on Ithaca Run. This one's sponsored by the Hyde Park Ninjas, my Ninja Boys. So we're very thankful to Hyde Park for sponsoring the Ithaca Run this week. And of course, and as you can all see by my slides, we're greatly appreciative to our corporate sponsors, the UPX Podcast. But Ithaca Run this tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch us on YouTube, catch us on X, and check out the races. We're giving away lots of stuff tomorrow, like we always do. And then next week, we are going to be on my track at the Castle Run in Kansas City. So super excited about that, sponsored by Iceman Manufacturing. So you don't want to miss the next 2 weeks of racing for sure. And you definitely don't want to miss week number 8, because we're at Northumberland. UPX Podcast sponsors it, of course, last race of the series. And we are not only are we, going to have a great race, but on the 5th of December, because that race is on December 6th. But on the 5th of December, right here on the UPX Podcast show, we are going to be going into the final 30 minutes of the Sheffy Go-Kart auction, mint number 1 of the ultra rare cart 20 mints. So mint number 1, the auction will finish right here. We will be posting that auction on the Upland Racing League server a couple of days before the show. So it's scheduled to end on the show. And so not only are we going to auction off mint number 1, but I am also going to give away mint number 2.
What?
To a lucky viewer that tunes into the show on December 5th. So
there's a guy called Too Stupid to Win that likes twos.
No, and whoever wins that, I'm trying to buy them all. I want all of them. I want all.
You better bring your UPX, because ThankMeLater is going to be going hard that auction. He might be comatose for the show because he's just so focused
He's
on getting
gonna
that
be
number one
focused.
mint.
Yes. So, with all of that said, I did want to also quickly check out what's happening with the finals. So, next week, as I said, we have the finals of the Upland Racing Series going on for the uh, Harvest season racing. Blah 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 blah. And let's check out. I really just want to go over
City
who's going to be
Pigeon.
racing in the finals for the 175 to 226 MPS score. These are the uh, Stock Car Pros, the Series 1 UK editions, Series 1 Rs can also race in this
So these are the
series.
big boy ones.
These are all the big boy cars. And as you can see, we've got City Pigeon, who is in the house tonight on the top of,
killing it, brother.
I believe City Pigeon is on the top of every single board. I'm not positive about that because I haven't looked at all of them, but I think he's on the top of every board, and Crowley is in the number 2 spot on every board.
That's wild. And he's
but
not just on there by a little bit. Like
He's on there
lot.
by a lot.
Like that's crazy.
He is on the top of every board by a lot.
Get it,
So if
dude.
anybody wants to learn how to race, I encourage you to go check out the Upland Garage in their server. They do a ton of racing, and they do a ton of not just racing in vehicles. They do a lot of track hero racing. They have competitions that incorporate both track hero and karts.
Yeah,
And
didn't I hear that? Wait, is it
series
them that
racing.
have the triathlon? That's like
Yes,
the track hero,
yes.
the cart, and then the car.
And then a car, yeah. So they do
That's
that.
so cool.
It is, and it's a combined time race for each of the events. So it's a different way of doing things. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. And if you play Track Hero or if you've raced in Track Hero, it's I suck at it really bad because I can't figure out how to translate my car into a little dude running around a track and jumping stuff. So, but it is a ton of fun. So I encourage everybody to go check out the Upland Garage and check out those guys racing. But anyway, let's check this out. We've got City Pigeon in number 1, Crowley number 2, Matsuda in 3, San Mahoney 4, Risey in 5. The Mahoney boys in 3, 4, and 5 right there. Risey is the backup driver for the Mahoney team there. So, and then Cruzerito, he spends a lot of time in the Upland Garage server. He's up there in number 6, Almost Human, who runs with the fast track guys in the kart racing. Also running in the top series here as well in 7th, Wander 1976. Of course, you remember that name. In 8th, Metaspook in 9th, DC Sup 22A in 10th, JH 2271 in 11th, and XAOC 777 rounding out the top 12. If the boards stay like this will be the 12 that will be in the final next week. So it's the top 12 running in 2 heats, just like we do in the URL.
Okay, so how long would it take you to get 70 points?
It depends. It depends on how you race. I can get 70 points in one race if I tried hard enough. As long as if you're racing for 15,000 UPX and you have 6 players, all with paid entry into the race, and you win, I believe it's something like 60. It might even be 66 points or something like that. I don't know. I have to go back and do the math. City Pigeon can tell you how many points you get.
So I could buy my way to a championship.
You could potentially buy your way in, but here's the thing. It's 60 points. So, yep, there you go. City Pigeon says it. 60 points if you have a full race at 15,000 and you win.
So I just do 2 of those, and I would be in
you could be in the top 12. Yeah, you do 1 and you're in the top 12 if you win, but you have to win.
I'll win because I'll just pay 6 drivers, right? Can't you just do that?
Well, I guess you can.
So you could. It is a public race, so you also take the potential of getting a driver in there that you didn't pay, because only public races count.
Well, as long as I get like most of them, I feel like they could just block whoever for me and then just put on the brakes, right? And then just let me parade in.
See, there you go, City Pigeon. He'll go in there and race.
But he won't let you win.
Well,
But
wait,
he will
is
not
it-
let you win. I can promise you that.
Well, then no. You're missing the point, City Pigeon.
He'll be happy. He'll be happy to collect your UPX though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you 40,000 UPX to lose a 15,000 UPX race.
Oh boy.
Oh, all right.
All right. I'm gonna pretend like I just didn't hear that, and we're gonna just move right on to other things. Let's give away a cart. Anybody want a cart?
Oh,
Yeah, we want
everybody
to.
wants
Come
a
on.
cart.
See, I'm gonna make you work now.
What are we doing
Yo,
for the
hey,
hashtag there?
Hashtag MCM. We'll give away an MCM Cabriolet cart.
Ooh,
Hashtag
that
MCM.
was- He's like, I want. We'll type in MCM. See.
Hashtag
on.
MCM. Get it in
We
there.
want. Oh, the crowd is going wild. Everybody wants it. That is a pretty stylish cart.
And you can catch this cart at Mass Chef Motors in Chicago, Illinois at 6700 North Kedzie Avenue, or our newest location in New Orleans at 4375 Michoud.
Do you have mint 17 of this one left?
I probably do have mint 17 of this one left.
Let me know and put it up at Chicago. I'll buy it.
All right. I'll check it out later. I'll shoot you a message.
All right.
They're quick on this one today.
They
Everybody
are
wants
quick.
this cart.
They are quick on this one today. I'll tell you, you do not want to miss December 5th.
Oh man.
I can tell you because the only mints that I have of the Sheffy car left are mints 1 through 10. Mint 10 I am keeping. Mint 1 is going
never
to
be able
auction.
to have a complete collection.
Mint 1 is going to auction. Mint
2's going to Too Stupid to Win.
Mint 2 through 9 are either going to be randomly sold at whatever location whenever I decide to sell one, or they're going to be given away. So the only way you can win one is to either win one or to happen to catch one that's on sale somewhere. And I will
put
tell
out
you
a
where.
bounty of 60,000 right now. If anybody gets one of those, 2 through 9, I'll
It's
put it.
easily worth 120,000.
Oh, is that what you're offering?
So
120?
the mints 2 through 9, mints 2 through 9 are selling will be selling for 125,000 retail.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, wait. Are you just randomly selling them? Now I gotta go buy them?
If I decide to sell them, they will sell for 125,000 retail.
Oh, well, then my bounty is now 150,000.
Oh boy, look at that!
They're easily. Never mind.
What did he?
I'm just trolling them.
22 entries. That was quick. Let's go.
And
Bullets just jumped in right at the last second. They're like, "Ooh, got to do that."
I also have, just so everybody knows, I have a new series of ultra rare cart coming very, very soon. It should be in production within the next couple of weeks. So it'll be a new ultra rare 20 mints of a new cart coming. And then I also have 2 other models that are coming out. One's a production model and one is just a rare model. So those are all coming.
Are you taking reservations?
I haven't decided whether I'm going to take reservations for the ultra rare one or not.
If you do, I want to reserve 17.
Got it. All right.
If you do,
I every time I see 17 now, that's all I think of is you.
oh,
Magus, all right.
Let's go.
All right, Magus, go ahead. Contact Mass Chef for your winnings.
Hit me up with a DM in the Upland Racing League server or in game, and I will reserve that card for you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mass. Look forward to
All right,
talking
guys.
next week. Good luck.
You rock, man.
Super excited to see what's going on with the UPX Spark Exchange. So I'm going to check out the rest of the show. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Sounds
We'll
good.
see you on the track.
All right. All right.
All right,
Speaking of that,
let's see. Yeah. Is Stash, are you back? All right, cool.
there he is. Ta-da. Magic.
All right, we're going to bring on. So, next up, we have a huge announcement for those who are involved in the Spark Exchange or Spark Tycoon or the newest released Vibes. If you are here from that Discord server, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and bring on co-founder of the Spark Exchange, Stosh. Oh, wait, I guess I said I could do it. There you go. And the new community director, C. Prado. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
I guess I should also, in that introduction, I am very excited. Stosh has asked me to come on as Chief Product Officer. Come on. No. No. Bad. Jim. Bad.
Sorry, can't help myself sometimes.
You're a child. This is important stuff, and the community wants to know about it. So I am coming in as Chief Product Officer to help grow the existing brands and build out new games. We are very excited to have a formal announcement coming on the partnership with Next World that will actually be doing the game development and rollout across the brands. And so, yeah, I wanted to bring Stosh and C on to just kind of talk about themselves a little bit, introduce you to the community, and then open it up, maybe a couple light questions. Nothing too crazy. We won't do a full AMA.
My first question is for C. I just want to know how she really enjoys living with Blue Rain, Boulder, and Goldie. That's got to be an interesting household.
Oh, you all
That's great to hear. You have no idea.
That's funny.
Sorry. All right. Back to the real questions, though.
Yes. So, Stosh, you want to, address people, what made you, kind of go in this direction? Where do you see the Spark Exchange and Tycoon and everything going moving forward?
Yeah, I can take that. So the big decision is, unfortunately, my real job has added additional duties to me, which require me to travel. So when I'm traveling, I work on a skiff. I don't have access to a phone. All technology gets locked up. And then at the end of the day, I'm burned out. I'm traveling. So the time that I have to dedicate to the project just isn't there anymore, which has forced us to, come and take alternate paths, right? And as I've talked to you before, TML, we've collaborated a lot in the past. Vibes was kind of your brainchild, and I knew that we were aligned, and that's why I approached you. And then with that, the community needs a face, so we picked C. Prada to be that face for us. She will be putting out announcements, answering questions, helping the other moderators, do their job, and kind of handle that in between. When I can't be there, ThankMeLater's busy working with the developers, then she will be that in between.
Yeah. Plus, like, if you're going to stare at a face all day, I think we can all agree which one we would choose.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No. So, I mean, I'm very excited. C, do you want to share? First of all, I just want to say, like, when we approached you initially about it, you had been a fantastic moderator for me at UPX World. So when we were talking about looking for somebody to come in, obviously you came up very highly recommended. And I have to say, you approached it with such ferocity immediately. Like, you were on the Discord, you were like making summaries of the questions. You were like, "Hey, Stosh, your thing's broken. Fix it now." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I guess I got to do it." Like, he was putting him to work like immediately. It was fantastic.
I'm sorry.
No,
we need
great.
that.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I think is needed, and I'm sure the community, those of you who are joining from the Spark Exchange, who have seen it go under maintenance, the update is by the end of this show.
Hopefully.
Knock on wood, we'll draw it out. You tell us when you're done, so that
It's going to be a long show.
Yeah,
Hope everybody got some
Marathon.
Taco Bell, some Mountain Dew.
And so that should be caught up. One of the listeners had fallen behind in its activities. So it was brought down and rebooted so it could catch up.
Not one of the listeners of the show, but one of the blockchain listeners, to be clear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully they are also listening to the show. Some of the bots listen to the show, I'm assuming.
Yep. Might be on the roadmap.
Yeah.
I really think this is huge and great for the UPX Spark Exchange because, ThankMeLater always has these creative ideas from the gaming, and in real life, he does is kind of leading development teams as they're working towards projects. So, it takes a lot of the load off of Stosh being, a small team that he is. And then she's just a very personable person. And yet she also will hold people accountable and drive results and get answers. So, it's hard to be a startup project in this space and be a 1 or 2 person show. So it's very great to see this project growing and adding the talent that it's adding.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I'm going to kind of piggyback off of that, right? TML and I had some conversations about development, who's going to do our development, and partnering with the Gas Studio and the Meta Labs who are developing Next World makes sense because we're going from, a handful of developers to their teams like 40 plus, right? So this will be the first time we're actually doing development out of house, bringing in an outside organization to take on some of that load. So hopefully things will start developing faster, and TML can help me really get focused on the things that are going to make the environment a lot better, with C product cracking the whip the whole time. So I think we'll be pretty good. And then also, I talk to Angry John all the time. I don't know if he's on here or not, but with the Next World, they're actually already started development on their layer 3, which will include Vibes. So they have an invested interest in the Spark Exchange, an invested interest in Vibes, and Upland as well. I know they're working on some other projects. So bringing them on and tying it all together, I think, is a smart decision for us. So.
All right. And Bam, we do see your question. I don't know, Stosh, if you want to address that now. Or, I will say, as a CPO, the gamification and the token economics of the game are definitely a top priority to me. I will definitely be working with Stosh and the team to understand what the current bank and rate of resourcing is, where the off points and the resource sinks that would be traditionally found, and then how can we incorporate those assets into other parts. So know that the resources that you're getting in Spark Tycoon are not just going to be limited to that one brand. That's one of the big visions of Web3, is these resources and objects can be used across multiple areas. And so as that the gaming kind of pieces expand, know that all of those resources will be taken into account as opportunities to leverage elsewhere. So if you have been a loyal user, I can tell you right now, loyalty is a huge thing for me. And I will do my best to ensure that those who have been playing and are consistently playing will benefit long-term from that effort and loyalty. And if you haven't started playing Spark Tycoon yet, I would go start doing it now, get in early, and help us build the best layer 2 that we can. Again, Cprado is going to be there collecting all the feedback, and we are going to be, churning out a lot of great product coming out. So please get in if you're not already in. And if you are, keep it up, because it will be a payoff. That's our goal. There you go. And yes, she is more than just a go-between, for sure. She is all talented, all seeing, all knowing, and is probably, again, both Stosh and I agree. She says that we're like, oh, we better pay attention. Like,
yeah.
So.
And she had to say something twice, and I felt really bad already. So I was like, oh no.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
Being
doing
sorry.
great.
Just crack the whip.
Perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Crack the whip.
Exactly what we need.
Hold them accountable and make it a good product.
What? What's too stupid? Too stupid is just gonna sit there and keep looking good drinking whiskey. No. So no, and as a part of
Too stupid is too busy with trying to run a podcast and have 4 kids and keep a wife happy
there you
and
go.
stay employed.
So, as a co-host of this show as well, if you are a Spark Exchange user, know that I am planning on using this platform. We're going to carve out time each week. I will take some questions on Spark Exchange, Spark Tycoon, Vibes, any of the projects that we're releasing, as well as I'm going to work with the team. And if you have any ideas, what would you like to see? What is the rate of Spark rental? Highest producers of Spark, highest renters of Spark, other things like that. Let us know on Discord or here on the YouTube channel. What kind of things relating to Spark trading and management would you like to see? And we will consider adding it and making it a part of the show.
Yeah, I was very excited when ThankMeLater reached out to me today to tell me about this news, just thinking about all the possibilities that, that we'll have access to data that we can talk to everybody about, and then along with doing giveaways in partnership with the Spark Exchange. So it's pretty awesome. I'm excited for this path going forward.
Yeah, and that's a good point. In fact, if you don't already know, the amount of giveaways and cool stuff you can win through the Spark Exchange and Spark Tycoon is huge. And I think Stash and I had talked about doing that list live as well, going through that at some point. We'll work that out. So all of the winners there, which is many a week. So again, definitely get out there and check it out. Will the reevaluation of the plan that Stash has already communicated? I have to see exactly what was committed, but again, Stash and I have been talking for a long time on various levels. So we see eye to eye on, I would say, 95% of kind of the future of Web3 and what layer 2 and 3 means to the community. So I'd be surprised if anything he communicated wasn't something that we would want to be doing. But if you had something
I'll be watching.
yeah, plus she'll be watching. When will the exchange begin? I think it officially begins Monday, but obviously we're already, getting ramped up. I don't think the ink is dry on the Next World deal just yet. But the development is expected to begin next week with Next World. And C will be, she's already lurking in your server. So, be on the watch out. She'll probably do her first official announcement tomorrow. But yeah, it's active now, I guess, really.
Yeah, pretty much we're all here. Everybody knows the rules. So, it's pretty much happening,
Yeah. So.
The Next World stuff, just kind of, we're submitting a proposal of work. We're going to go back and forth on, what they're going to do, who's responsible for what. And as soon as we iron out those details, their team will get to going. So the budget's already set. As I announced a few months ago, we came across a large sum of money. So that money is already allocated to go to this development and anything else we need to make this successful.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I think this is going to be as long and no pressure on Next World, but I think, I know Next World's working with Rodrigo. I know that they have a couple of other things in place. I can guarantee that this deal is orders of magnitude larger than their other deals. I just have to imagine it is. And I think for me, both as obviously now CPO on this project, but as also somebody from the community and a layer 2 enthusiast, I have very high expectations. So I don't want to put too much pressure on the Next World team, but there's a lot of pressure. There is a lot of expectations for me and the community. I'm really hoping that, the dev chops that you've been kind of shopping around, you landed it. You landed the big fish, the stock exchange, and what Stash is willing to invest in this. Let's go. I'm really excited. And I cannot wait to see what comes of it.
Let's go.
Will there be regular communication with the community? Yeah. So both in Discord, which again will be led by C Prado, as well as weekly. I will give an update here as Chief Product Officer. I plan on doing agile development. So if you know development, it's kind of nerdy, but it's continual development, updates daily internally, not necessarily for external communication. And I would like to see like content, or not necessarily playable content, but at least some sort of visual updates at least once every 2 weeks or so. And I plan on holding the Next World team kind of accountable to that. Like, I don't see why, with the resources they're going to be provided and what they promised, that we shouldn't be able to work that. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot of updates both through Discord and weekly here on the podcast.
And that's why we brought C Prada on, so she can handle that communication with you guys to facilitate that when I'm not in office or, we're not on camera. So
yeah, exactly. And so she'll be giving me, kind of a daily or so digest, or obviously if things blow up, and we'll be around, and obviously I don't want to say we're accessible. I won't actually say we're accessible.
You're not
Don't
accessible.
try to contact me directly. You're probably going to sit unread. Your best bet is to put your question, comment, thought on the Discord, and have C Prado run it up. She has direct access.
Answer it for you guys.
Free to play are going to be expensive. I think that there should always be a free to play option. And it depends what you would say expensive. I think if you are an Upland player, getting into these things is actually very affordable. It doesn't take millions of UPX to do things. It takes hundreds, maybe thousands of UPX. What's it cost to put a node on a property? Do you know?
Yeah. So right now, to unlock a node slot, it's 1,000 UPX. However, if you use the Spark Exchange and you complete your building through the Spark Exchange, you get one for free.
Yeah.
So it's a benefit of using the Spark Exchange.
Yeah. So if you haven't already done it, use the Spark Exchange and get free nodes, or 1,000 UPX to unlock a node, start your building. Again, very cool. I think it's affordable, and it uses UPX, which, once you get up to a certain point, you just have you got UPX to spend. And so we're looking for ways for you to not only spend your UPX, but to leverage your Spark to add utility to your houses. And with Vibes, which I am obviously personally very excited about, adding the long needed utility and gamification to block explorers. So that, to me, as a block explorer connoisseur, is very, very exciting.
Yep. And we're also entertaining to circle back to unlocking node slots, making that an item. So something I can give in a loot box or from the prize wheel. Same thing for the Vibes, the rerolls. We've got a lot of possibilities that we can do with items.
Well, Jimmy, if UPX is free to play, then it is free to play right now. So I would say the majority of what we are looking to do is, again, adding leverage to UPX, adding utility to Sparklet. That's the value of a layer 2 is to increase the value of its layer 1 that it's supporting. That's the symbiotic relationship that needs to be created. And that's exactly what we're looking to do. We'll change for.
Yeah, we'll dive into this here in a minute there. City Pigeons say,
yeah, anytime that anybody who works in technology, if you can, as a community, and we're obviously staying abreast of all of this as the developers and maintainers of it, But yeah, if there's going to be a major way in the functionality of Sparklet, or I'm sure Stosh can talk about the fun that happened when they went from Spark to Sparklet, and all of the chaos that caused. Because even in that scenario, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but when direct questions are asked to the Upland team about how functionality will be, so that way, layer 2s like the Spark Exchange can be proactive in updating their code, so that way it's as small of a cut down and cut over as possible. And those people either give the incorrect information because they didn't know or whatever. That creates some very difficult situations for the layer 2s involved, specifically, the stock exchange during that. Like that, there are certain things that are just out of owners' controls, especially when the diligence has been done, which anyway, so yeah, we will definitely be making sure any of the changes to how Sparklet is staked or leveraged is taken into account for the exchange.
I think the big thing that'll probably happen during that period is that we either disable withdrawals or we go into a small maintenance, make sure everything's working as it's supposed to, and then bring it back out. It's a lesson learned that we took from the last one, and that'll probably be a standard anytime they're making major changes to Spark Rental. We need to be aware of it.
Yeah. And again, I think that with the proper warning to everybody, if that becomes the new standard, which I like as a buffer, then obviously we will communicate it as soon as we're aware of it, right? It depends. If they give us 24-hour notice that it's changing, then that's really all the notice we can give you to say, hey, look, in 24 hours, it's being shut down. Figure out what you want to do with your transactions now before that happens. But, I think the end of the day, the object would be to get it back up and running as quick as possible in the event of an outage.
Yep.
Tycoin, we have not talked about Tycoin directly in a little bit. Also, because I believe I also coined that, no pun intended, but that was, I think that
you definitely did, yeah.
Trace that back to the UPX podcast,
Yep.
where Tycoin was first used. So I'm a fan. I don't know that we've talked about it directly, or Sasha, if you want to talk about it.
Sure, I can touch on it a little bit. So the big thing with Tycoin, the reason we held off is I talked to attorneys and they gave us permission to do it. I talked to CPAs to understand like the tax ramifications of doing it, and I couldn't get a clear answer. And we're not in a position where we could take a huge hit like that, because we process hundreds of millions of UPX a day, but to do our own coin and then have to pay taxes on it could really hurt. That's a lot of money. So we held off on it. The internal conversations we had before TML and team came on board was that we would, instead of doing it with a off ramp, just have it where we can distribute it and you can use it within our own personal shop. So instead of using 1,000 UPX to unlock a node slot, then you could acquire Tycoin and use that instead. That's
Okay.
kind of the
like
idea. Right. And if, say, hypothetically, we make map assets and we wanted to sell them that way, we could explore something like that.
So, that would be, a freemium coin is always great. That's really what, I always thought, and UPX has kind of turned into at this point. Again, every game I play has a coin that you can purchase directly in there. Now, I do know from, anyway, obviously we talk about that would cause some contention with Upland.
Oh yeah, I guess we couldn't sell in-game assets for Tycoin. So yeah, so it'd only be stuff that's specific to layer 3 and layer 2. Yep.
Yeah. So again, I don't think the idea of Tycoin as a thing is possible, but as probably the original iteration of it being like its own crypto, definitely won't be it sounds like that's not going to happen at all, right. Or anytime soon for sure.
Right.
Yep.
Or unless a CPA can give me a real answer. And until the governing bodies can give them a real answer, they don't have one. So it's a lot of risk. Yep.
Well, it might change here soon.
Yeah. Now that Elon Musk is president, that's what I heard, right?
Oh my God.
No, we're not getting political. We're not doing it.
Elon's gonna
Anyway.
help out the government. It's gonna be great.
Moving on. All right. So
All right. What else do we have from the Spark Exchange? I do want to jump into the roadmap here too before we run out of time this week.
I think that's it. Again, like that's the big announcement. We want to get the team all introduced and let everyone know that we're going into the next chapter, and it's going to be a big one. Again, we have a development team that, they're say 40 deep, but they got some experience. We've seen some of their games. The community seems to want to work with them. I think this is a big opportunity for Next World to show everyone what they're made of. We're definitely going to be putting them to the test on it. So I'm really excited for it.
Stosh, anything else before we let you go for the evening?
No, I think TML covered most of it. So
All right.
I think we're good.
How about you, C?
I'm so glad to be a part of this. Thank you so much, guys.
You're
right.
very welcome.
Thank you both so much for coming on tonight and making time. Excited to watch how this goes.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon. Thanks so much.
Yep, take care.
All right. So Upland did release the quarter 4 roadmap, and they talked about major user acquisition projects coming up, talking about collaborations with strategic partners, and it will expand Upland's ecosystem in a big way. And they're talking about more details coming in quarter 1, 2025. Hopefully it's just details. Hopefully it's not, big onboarding type things. It's because they really need to fix, quality of life type things that we've talked about. And that's what they also addressed in the roadmap, was doing the function focused on functionality and quality of life, but they broke them up into three different development times. Large projects, which are 8 to 10 weeks, medium projects,
You have
4 to
something you
6
want to
weeks.
show? You're reading something.
I am reading something. So,
Sorry, I'll
nope.
put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm
Nope,
a
I
visual
was good.
learner.
All right. Nope, not that one. There we go. All right. There you go. So they've had and then the smaller projects, less than a month. They said the rollouts will happen continuously, and the timelines varying by team capacity. And I really think they need to address these community feedback improvements with filters and all these other suggestions that have been made before they try to do mass acquisitions.
Oh,
Because it's very frustrating. It's been a while since I optimized my collections in Upland.
Oh,
And I went to do that the other day, and I thought it would be pretty quick, but between just the kids and everything else, it took me over 4 hours to do it on and off. And the worst one was the World Traveler collection.
yeah.
You have more properties than me, but even with the amount of properties that I had, it was very irritating, especially if I missed it scrolling through, and then I had to start all the way back at the beginning. And that happened a couple of times. And
No.
it was very painful. And you can't expect new players to come in and be excited, once they grow a larger portfolio, to think it's easy. I mean, I should be able to sort my properties by city. I should be able to sort it by, or just do a basic function search of a street name while I'm trying to select properties for these collections, because ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah. No, that definitely needs to be addressed.
Now, they've talked about some of the features that they're looking at is property search enhancements, and they said it was going to be similar developed for the asset search. Okay, it was nice that they did an asset search, but still that's a pain in the butt. If you want to find, this is twofold, because it was frustrating if you were in one city and wanted to just find an asset in the city. you couldn't filter by the city, but now they have listened to having asset deliveries across cities. So you can purchase an item from a city that you're not even in, and it will be delivered to you without having to travel.
What?
Yes. Yep.
When is that happening?
They don't give a time for it, but that's something that they are working on. And then one of the other things, is
no, hold on. That's huge. Like, do you have any idea how much UPX that'll get from that alone will be millions of UPX from me.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like, that's if you are a MetaVenture owner, get excited about that. You like the amount of sales to me will just absolutely skyrocket, because then when I actually search for something and find it for a price and I can just hit buy it like I do everywhere else in my life all the time, like I'll be buying so much more. Like I get wild hairs all the time and I'm like, oh, I really want to buy that. And then I'm like, oh, I got to go where? Never mind. Like literally millions and millions of UPX I have not spent because of the travel restrictions on it. Like, anyway, I can't wait.
And speaking of travel, they're simplifying the travel experience. Doesn't really say what they'll do. They said the travel fees stay the same, but you'll be able to initiate your journeys with a single click. So hopefully it's not trying to figure out how you have to travel somewhere. You want to go from point A to point B, and then Upland figures out what you need to do.
Thank you. That is such a pain. Like, I really hope it's to the point where I'm like, I want to go to, Spooky Dookies in San Francisco. And I just hit like send, and it's just like, hey, in order to send there, you need to do this, this, and this. And then here's all the fees, or like select the terminal. Like if it's just like, okay, you have to go to a plane terminal, a train terminal, and do this. And then I should just be able to like select from a drop down. Okay, send me to terminal 1. Here's the fee for that. Send me to train terminal 3. Here's the fee for that. And then here's the actual travel fees. And here's the time. And here's your itinerary, and book it. And it sends you off. It sends your block explorer, sends it on the train, sends it on the plane. That's how it should be. Because guess what? That's how it works in the real world.
Yes.
Like I'm going to go from here to Cleveland. So I got to take 6 different planes because no one flies there direct because it's
Come on, it's not. I got to your area with a direct flight, so knock it off. And I got home with a direct flight too, so knock it off.
Yeah. So he did. He went over it in the video. All right. I might have to check that out.
Yeah.
Was it what I just explained? Because my idea is the best way to do it. So
your ideas aren't always the best way to do it.
I didn't say they were always the best, but design a better travel system than that.
Yes.
I want to go from A to B. Here it is. Select your terminal, select your terminal, select your terminal, book it, send. There's no better, you can't design a better interface than that. I've thought a lot about how I would want my travel to be, what the easiest way to be would. And that's it.
And that's what I forgot to ask Mass Chef, and he already dropped off behind the stage. They do have they're going to implement the ability to rent a car from a MetaVenture for your race. So if you have some cars at your track, you can go ahead and put them up for rent. So if somebody wants to try a stock car pro or any fancy car or a rare car, you can have it there for rental.
Yeah. So that's a genius idea. And as someone who owns 5 S4s, 5 S1s, S1Rs, whatever they are, that's of interest to me.
But with that, they're looking to add utility to Sparklet, and you'll have to charge your cars with Sparklet though. So it's just not unlimited running.
Oh, now that's gotta make City Pigeon feel a kind of way.
Yeah, somebody that races like that.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna see, now I haven't had time to properly digest it. So here's my initial feeling.
But wait, before you go into your initial feeling, they've always said that cars were going to be powered by Spark. Sure. So this is nothing new, but okay, initial feeling, go.
You need to have your racing a whole lot better and a whole lot more widely used, before you put something like this on it. Like this, I hope, is a very low priority for them. This will kill racing because it will kill racing. Because I'm not going to casually go do a race and then it costs me Sparklet. I already said that once they implement like any sort of travel damage, mileage, anything to my cars, they're all getting parked. Like I just won't race them. And so the amount of people that this would alienate from racing, and I can promise you, I mean, especially if it's costly at all, it's going to deter people like City Pigeon from racing 20 hours a day because it's going to be too damn expensive.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. Need clarification if it's for travel or racing. Yeah, that's
Because all this talks about is for travel. It doesn't talk about racing just yet. And then they say airplanes as the next step. So it's car travel right now is what it's saying. It hasn't said racing. So hopefully they leave racing alone.
yeah. Oh, you think it's just staking it to race? That might be. Yeah, that might be better. That's not a bad thing.
Well, they're just saying so just like any electric car, at some point in time, you got to charge it. And that's what it seems like they're doing with Sparklet is you'll have to charge your car with Sparklet at some point in time.
Yeah, but again, if you think about Sparklet, okay, let's say it's this phantom material. In theory, it's a limitless power. If it can continuously build houses forever, that would imply, I know we're a bit of a stretch, but if you think about it just from that perspective, it's an unlimited power source. So if it can unlimitedly build houses, I could understand if they were like, in order to drive your S1R, you must stake 100 Sparklet on it, right? And then like that's like attached. That's like your battery for your car, and then it runs. It's just that, and you can run it for whatever hours in the day, and then obviously like your semis might be 1,000 Sparklet staked. But if they're burning spark to run a car, why would I ever use my car again? Like, why would I ever travel Lake Tahoe? Can you say ghost town? Who's going to burn spark to go to Lake Tahoe? Thank God your MetaVenture can be sold anywhere because you would never sell a damn thing there. Like, I don't know. I think that there's some, and obviously we can see here in the comments, there's a lot of confusion in the community by people who know and who follow this a lot. And so it's not just me who, maybe missed an announcement. Like we have a lot of varying opinions on if it will be a burn or not a burn. You think it'll be staked? So we have some people saying staked. I feel like it was a burn.
They kept saying, they said stake, even right here in this article. It talks about stake.
Okay.
Allow staking Sparklet. Yep.
Staking isn't too bad. Staking makes sense. I'm not mad at that. That actually works. Like, okay, cool. I'm good with that. All right. It says stake. All right. Never burn. All right. Never mind. We have resolved it. Good job, team. It is staked. We're sticking with staked. All the burners.
Left House. I called you a couple of times and you haven't returned my call. So answer the phone next time I call, brother.
You blocked your number, bro.
He probably did. And then the other thing here with the Spark utility aspect of it, they were also talking about the Spark hour adjustments starting in the first quarter of 2025. So based off of the market rate, they'll adjust in-game Spark hours for construction, manufacturing, and other Spark utility type staking things.
Now that's interesting. So you think as it gets cheaper, they're going to ratchet up and require more Sparklet for the builds? Is that the idea?
That is what I would think would happen. And then as the price goes up, the amount required goes down. So get building.
Yeah. So if that doesn't motivate you to get on the Spark exchange right now and load up on Spark and get all your things built, I don't know what would. Now that is fascinating as a a Spark owner, as a Sparklet owner. Sorry, I think like that is an incredible opportunity to hopefully see some increase in that. I love it, and it would operate very similar to like gas prices then with your car charging. Yeah, I like that actually. I think like that is a correct gamification and economic balancing mechanism. I think that's really cool. I'll be curious to know how often it happens.
Once a quarter. It
is
will
that-
just once a quarter starting in the first quarter of 2025.
Okay, once per quarter.
And,
We'll
and
see.
if you think about it, you used to buy one Spark for $460 US. Now one Spark costs $53.
So we could potentially see a massive increase, like a 5 to 8x increase in Sparklet hours, you think?
And I'm not saying they're going one for, I'm not saying they're going to try and take it back to the 460 value, which everything was based off of in the manufacturing, construction, and all that stuff. I'm not saying that they're going to match that, but there could be that possibility, and there could be that sticker shock out there.
Do you think that they're going to, did it say manufacturing as well in there?
Yeah. Anything that you use Spark for.
I mean, again, it makes sense. Well, no, I guess technically it's the inverse, because if a resource got cheaper, like cost of goods would get cheaper. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I like it. From a gamification, I think like that's the correct move. I think that's a great way to add another lever in the Sparklet utility. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard. What it first comes out, I think people are going to have, like you said, sticker shock. I think that there's going to be some hurt people who didn't realize it was coming, as usual. But ultimately, I think that's cool. I'm here for it.
Yeah. So one Spark equals 1,000 Sparklet, and currently Sparklet is 5.3 cents ish. So you multiply 1,000 by 5.3 cents, and that gives you $53.
Nice. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to know is, how many trick or treats did you get?
We are very trustworthy. We just put a big bowl out at the end of the driveway and say, take 3.
Oh, yeah. And you were done with trick or treating in like 5 minutes?
Actually, no. We actually had leftover candy when we came back. But
What?
it was a big bowl also. So
What'd you have? The lights off? Like nobody come up?
no, people came up. It was pretty much gone, but we did have a little leftover. So
What, like Tootsie Rolls? What kind? No, I meant in game.
those trick-or-treaters. Yeah. Yep. So I had 21 trick-or-treaters. Last week
21 trick-or-treaters. We did it.
Yeah. Last week we had 17. This week we have 21. So
All right.
we did it, and you're giving away another 100,000 UPX.
100,000 right now, which means our
Next week
goal,
it needs to be 22.
22 or more. So if you haven't watched the show or you're catching up, so since a couple weeks ago, I've been challenging the community to go into Upland and write trick or treat from ThankMeLater to Too Stupid to Win in game. And we were pulling $100,000 name, 100,000 UPX winners. And then it kind of started growing, and I'm here for it. So as long as we can keep growing the momentum, I'll keep giving away 100,000 a week. So our goal now is 22 people. So the 21 of you, if you do it again, go in, hit them up. It's already in your chat. You're like 90% of the way there. Just copy and paste, send them another spam message, get your name added to the list, and then find one new person. And we'll do another 100,000.
Now you don't want to add the 21 people don't want to add another 21 people. They just want to get one extra person for the week.
If they were smart, that's it. They would have figured out. They'd be like, all right, guys, we need one extra person, and then next week we'll do 23. I don't think they're going to be that organized.
We'll find out. But
also, we should keep. I'm assuming you're keeping these names like a list somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
City Pigeon needs a recap of what you just said. So basically, in Upland, message me. Are we going to switch it up to Happy Thanksgiving, or are we just keeping trick or treat for right now?
Oh yeah. Just message. Yeah, message with some sort of greeting, any sort of harassing message. Honestly, that's really the goal.
Because just NFT 3 hit me with trick or treat, Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I told him he only got one entry for all those. So he tried to get like that's
smart.
Yeah, he tried to cover all his bases and try to get multiple entries. So, but yes, It has to be a holiday themed greeting in game to me. Too stupid to win. Just message me, and then I will message you back that I have received it. And
Chef says his name didn't get on it
because he didn't message me this week.
Oh yeah, you got to message every week.
Every week. You were on there last week. I will verify right now before we spin. But
no, well, they pardon. You do like the White House. They pardon the turkey every year. And then, Rick Sanchez turns himself into a turkey so that way he can get pardoned.
Let's see here. Going back to last week, Mass Chef did not message me after
last week's show. That's what he says.
Mass Chef. Nope. The only message in game I have is October 24th, trick or treat from TML LLO. And then the next day I responded, thanks. I have entered you into next week's drawing. There was nothing after October 25 because you were traveling last week, Mass Chef. That's what happened. You were traveling.
Yeah. You weren't even on the show. You were traveling. I'm sure they eat that turkey right after they pardon it. What? No, geez, don't say that. It's a free bird.
So there you go, man.
Oh, he kept the receipts, bro. He kept the receipts.
You might not have hit enter. You might have messaged trick or treat, but you did not hit enter.
Oh, man.
Or send. Something happened, or you can blame Upland. Sue Upland for 100,000 Uplands.
Oh, you know what? That's why, because you're in the Bermuda. It must have got lost in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
All right.
Let's do it.
We'll give away 100,000 UPX of ThankMeLater's
hard-earned UPX.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy.
Oh, Android 2000.
Android 2000. He's a director. Oh, that's a cool background. Is that one of the new Harvest ones? It's like a rock background. Looks really cool with his bat. Oh, you know what? He's also got his home in Belrose, which we didn't announce, but we were also giving away another extra 25,000 for Belrose residents because let's go Belrose. So you know what? Congratulations, Andrew. I'm going to give you 125,000. Thank you for being a resident of Belrose.
There you go.
All
awesome.
Right.
Congratulations.
And get a message. Let's see here. There you go. Android 20. Oh, there you go. 125,000 transferred to you. Very cool. What is this? That's hardcore. He looks like somebody from Walking Dead.
That's what I was going to say. He's like surviving the zombie apocalypse.
And 10 badges too. As a director, I feel like that's pretty good. He's got the Bermuda badge, the Purge 2024 badge, Genesis level 2. Good job. I'm liking it. FIFA Cup level 3, Proton Pioneer. We got an active player. I'm so glad you won. Congrats. Oh, it's the zombie outfit from Halloween. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Outstanding. What else you got for us this week?
I think that's it. I mean, I'm excited. Big things coming. It's going to be an exciting end to 2024. I can't believe it's already November.
Right?
And we are going to enter 2025 absolutely strong. I think, as we continue to get content from the Racing League and from Rodrigo on the boards, and now with Spark Exchange and some layer 2 games, I think the content is going to continue to get better and more interesting. I absolutely am excited about where the show is going. If you have any ideas, what you would like to see, topics you'd like to see, feel free to tell Too Stupid, because it will get lost in my mailbox. But feel free to say Too Stupid. And if it's related to the exchange or any of the layer 2 games, the Spark Tycoon, feel free to reach out to see on Discord, on that Discord server. That's going to be another great way to get your ideas heard. It is something we are going to be actively monitoring and going through on a weekly, if not daily basis.
Love it. Excited. Looking forward to it. So we will see. Everybody be safe, have fun, and we will see you out there in the metaverse. Until next week.
The UPX Podcast with the property expert. If it's happening in Upland, it's the place you want to check first. With your host, Too Stupid to Win and ThankMeLater. Bringing the strategy, news, and cool charts with all the data. This is Upland, where the metaverse goes down. Genesis, San Fran, to Rio, and all around. Don't miss a week, you never know what they'll say next. It's the Upland Property Expert.